Hi everyone, this is Popsy again. Let's talk about what has happened around us recently. Things are not really easy, times are hard. Nobody is going to tell you that things are very easy. Even the rich, they also cry. And that's why I want to talk about the issue of suicide, especially among the youth. Why do people commit suicide? They commit suicide because they look up, they look down, they look left, they look right. So it appears there's no solution anywhere. The government concludes say the best thing is to end it all. Is suicide the permanent solution? A writer once mentioned that suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And rightly so, because if one does not look at it the right way, you quickly conclude that the next thing is for you to commit suicide and end it all. But it shouldn't be, because there's much to life than suicide. And life is very, very sweet, except you want to deny the fact that life is not sweet. It's very sweet. If one has everything that can help you to cope with your present life, you agree with me that life is sweet. So some find it difficult to agree that suicide is an option, because they probably face the death of a loved one. That one is irreversible, or they end up in a very bad marriage that led to a breakup. That one might not be reversible. And because of this, it will pay them to their bone marrow. And rightly so. But why then? We really need to move on. That's a key point that we want to address in our discussion in this video. In other words, why move on despite all the challenges that we may face? We're going to consider three things that will help us to move on. One of the first things I want to consider as the reason why we need to move on is the fact that things will not always be the way they are. Things have changed before, things are changing now, and things will change in the future, whether we like it or not. The only thing in this world that is permanent is change. It will surely come. And so we have that kind of a mindset. Even when we are facing serious challenges, we can be hopeful that one day things will change, and it will change. Especially when it change into our favor. We feel happy at the end of the day. But somebody has committed suicide, how is he going to experience a change? That is why it's good for us to let some time pass and be hopeful that things will change. That is one point that we want to take note as to why we should not be hasty to terminate our lives, the precious life that has been given to us by the Creator. The second point we want to consider is there's help. No matter the situation that we find ourselves, there's always help. Help can come from anyone in support of our situation. It can come from our family members. They can encourage us to let us know that the course of action we want to take is not the best. It can come from many friends too, who deeply love us, who don't want us to take that route of committing suicide. It can also come from our parents and many other sources. But some journals, books, that will encourage you that ending it all is the best option. They are not telling you the truth. It can never be the best option. Because, like I said earlier, life is sweet and it's a gift from God. So, the last option I want to consider is there's hope. Yes, it is true to say Sometimes we are overwhelmed by challenges, by our problems. But if we are hopeful that things will change and that things will get better in the not too distant future, at least we can experience some relief. That relief can come from our friends, our family members, and those who really love us. And then one other thing about Africans generally is that we are our brother's keepers. We don't like to look at somebody suffering indefinitely. Like in some other part of the world, you are on your own. You don't work, you're not like to find anything to eat. But in this part of the world, Africa, you can enter a friend's house, uncle's house, auntie's house, and you just tell them and say you're hungry. Before you know it, something will land on your table. You eat and you'll be able to sleep for that day. But if you do not have any hope and you have no idea of where your next meal is coming from, it can be frustrating, sometimes daunting. That's why we make some people to say, I cannot continue with this kind of a life. But if you are hopeful and we are not lazy, we are ready to engage in any sort of menial work, we can get life going. One elderly man met me one time. He said a young man told him he was looking for a job. They now took him to where they are molding blocks and setting blocks, building houses. And the young guy just left school. He was expecting that he would get a white-collar job. Unfortunately, that was not the kind of job that the elderly man wanted to show to him. So when they got there, he told him, say, we have to remove the shirt and tie. Then follow them to carry this payloader and whatever, and the head pan. Then you carry the butter from here to here. The young man looked at it and said, no, this is not the kind of job for me. The elderly man said, well, that's what I can afford you. But if you do this job, just for a while, you will get another one. But this one will keep your body and soul together. And I will pay you 1,500 naira every day. This is about 20-30 years ago. The young man couldn't content himself with that. Meanwhile, this is the kind of money some are using to maintain their daily lives. So 1,500 naira in 5 days or 6 days at times, Monday to Saturday, we give you over 7,500 naira for the week. That is the salary some people are earning then per month. For you, you are getting it in 1 week. So if one is up and doing, there will always be room for you to keep life going and manage yourself until things change for better. I also want to relate the experience of a young boy. I know him too well. He finished secondary school then. He couldn't get any job. He stooped down. He said he would do a cleaner job. He did. He took the job and was doing it. While doing that cleaning job, how much are they paying him then? Very stupid amount of money. He took the job and was doing it. But while coming in the morning for the job, he will carry his books and some other materials. After finishing the work, he will look for one quiet place, lock the door there, and then start reading. Started reading until he wrote jam. He passed. When he passed, he applied for one of the universities in Nigeria. They took him on admission. He read in economics. After 4 years, he graduated and left the school. As we speak, the boy is working in one of the big banks in Nigeria today. So you can see how hope and patience can help one to achieve and even excel. So, brothers, never give hope, never lose hope. Things will always change. Things have always changed. and things will continue to change. There's help and there's hope. So if we put all this one in mind, to help us not to lose hope and do the unthinkable that will claim our life. And at the end of the day, we are the one that will regret it. Committing suicide is like somebody giving a slap to his fellow man, and you expect that you who is tapping the other man to feel the pain. You are the one who inflicted blow on someone. So it is you that will feel the pain. So if you commit the suicide, you that will feel it, and not the people you think they are going to feel it. They might feel it, but the one that feel it most is you that have committed. Even at the point of that committing suicide, you feel some kind of regret in your life, thinking that probably you ought not to have done that. And so that is the little we have today. So I want you to subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell, and comment. I definitely get back to you on what you see. Share this video too as far as you can. God bless you.